The 2016 Yuba County champion is more American than apple pie or even baseball. It's named for the frontiersman and trailblazer Edward Fitzgerald Beale, an American Navy lieutenant and a brigadier general in the California militia. The Camp Beale area consisted of grassland and rolling hills until Marysville city officials encouraged the Department of War to establish a military facility in the area. The U.S. government purchased 87,000 acres in 1942 for a training post for the 13th Armored Division. During World War II, Camp Beale, as it was known at the time, had more than 60,000 personnel. Camp Beale officially became a United States Air Force Base in 1951. From 1951 on, Beale trained aviation engineers and ran an air base defense school. On October 15, 1964, the Department of Defense announced that Beale would be the home of the new supersonic reconnaissance aircraft, the SR-71 Blackbird. The first SR-71 arrived on January 7, 1966. 12 years later, the U-2 joined the SR-71 in the 9th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing, giving the unit two of the most unusual aircraft in the world, with the U-2 being the perfect complement to the Blackbird. U-2 Dragon Lady has a wingspan of 105 feet, weighs 16,000 pounds, can reach speeds of 410 miles per hour, and has a range of more than 7,000 miles, and can reach an altitude above 70,000 feet. Its initial operating capability was in 1956.
In a room of my peers, I would say Beale Air Force Base is the most influential Air Force base in the entire Air Force, because daily we're flying combat missions, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance around the world. In the world of global security, we are the high-altitude intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance wing. From the collectors in our airframes, to the analyzers in our DCGS, our Distributed Common Ground System, all the way through getting the information out to the combatant commanders around the world every day. And we also have bomb builders where every bomb builder in the Air Force comes through Beale Air Force Base in their training.
The PAVE-phased Array Warning System, PAVE-PAWS, was a Cold War system of computer and radar equipment. PAVE-PAWS is a radar system operated for missile warning and space surveillance, primarily to detect and track sea-launched ballistic missiles and intercontinental ballistic missiles. PAVE-PAWS reached initial operating capability 15 August 1980 at Beale Air Force Base.
When you look at Beale as a whole, it's 23,000 acres of rolling, beautiful land here in the California landscape. Whether we're catching a new reserve wing mission, bringing on 8 KC-135s like they had 10 years ago, or whether we're expanding the DCGS Enterprise, Distributed Common Ground System, of analyzing our intelligence that we gather through our ISR enterprise, we are postured and we have the land and we have the willing local community to grow to any mission that the Air Force needs us to fill.
The 9th Reconnaissance Wing is responsible for providing national and theater command authorities with timely, reliable, high-quality, high-altitude reconnaissance products. Beale Air Force Base played a significant role in what is known as the space age.
Well, sonic booms were likely from the SR-71 that stayed at Beale from the mid-60s until about 1990.
The SR-71 Blackbirds were designed to cruise at Mach 3.2, just over 3 times the speed of sound, or more than 2,200 miles per hour, and at altitudes up to 85,000 feet. During this time period, the advancements in exploration and technology were profound.
The economic impact of Beale Air Force Base is almost $2/3 of $1 billion. Our enterprise created almost 2,000 jobs. That alone is almost $100 million in payroll.
Probably late January, early February of '57. I was asked if I'd volunteer for an unknown airplane, unknown anything. And guess where we went? Groom Lake, Area 51. That's where we did our training. And that's the first time that I saw the U-2. Well, I came here directly from Air Command and Staff College in Alabama to this assignment to fly the SR-71. And that was in July or August of '66 we arrived. And we immediately got housing on the base and got into training, and I had my first flight November '66. It was great. Well, I flew the U-2 for almost 9 years, from 57 to 65, and the SR-71 I flew from 66 to 73. It's very smooth now. In the old days, there used to be erratic situations occur. You're bouncing against it because you aren't that clean to go through the speed of sound. But these planes nowadays, and power they have behind it too, pushes you right through. And there's no difference between each Mach. My time at Beale was fantastic. We stayed here because we loved the weather and the people. 5 children, and we have no regrets. I was a very fortunate man.
I am the Deputy Director of Installation Support at Beale Air Force Base. Our primary mission is intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and we're globally integrated, and so what that means is we're the only Department of Defense activity that does high altitude ISR. But it goes beyond that. We're not just a flying operation. As a globally integrated ISR wing, we also have to exploit that information for the ISR. What are we looking for? Are we looking for where people are? Are we looking for some change in terrain? And then that information is given back to the combatant commanders and those airmen, soldiers, Marines that are on the ground that help save lives, because they have now taken the high ground, if you will, and they know what's going on ahead in the ambush, if you will, the old Western. Well, right now we're flying the U-2 Dragon Lady. We fly the RQ-4 Global Hawk, and also the T-38 Companion Trainer, which keeps the airmanship for those that fly the U-2 current.
When you retire from the military after a lifetime of service, it can be a bittersweet experience.
You know, it's been a family to me for 45 years now. It's got some great memories from experiences around the world, but like I say, it's a chapter that it's time to close this one and open a new one. My heart will be with the airmen.
I'm Tech Sergeant Tony Medeiros. I work at Beale Air Force Base. I will be providing the boom operators and the pilots things for them to be able to fly safely. I went to high school at Lyndhurst High School. When I was 17 years old, I joined the Army Reserves. My mom actually had to sign my contract to let me go. I just recently purchased a home in Live Oak using a veteran's loan. The ocean's only a couple hours away. I can go to the snow a couple hours away. Lake Tahoe's a beautiful place. So it's a very good location. Being in the military for me, it's taught me how to be a better person and to help others, and it's instilled values in me that I probably wouldn't have got working other places that I'm able to pass on to my children.
In 1998, I moved to Beale Air Force Base with my ex-husband now from Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii. You can only imagine when you're stationed at a beautiful base like Hickam in Hawaii and you're driving down North Beale Road, and I'm thinking, this can't possibly be right. We're seeing cows and chickens, and we finally get to the gate, and I said, okay, how about I just drop you off and you call me when this assignment's over? Definitely my opinion has changed. I love it here, and I couldn't have picked a better place to move and raise my children and be part of Beale Air Force Base.
The majority of our manpower, the majority of our airmen, of our civilians, of our Guard, of our Reserve, do not live on Beale Air Force Base. They live in the local community. For 21 years, I've lived in local communities of every base I've been in. And the local one we have here is the most well-received I've ever been in my career. They welcome us, they welcome our growth, they welcome our partnership as we grow forward. In my career, I've moved 17 times in 21 years. I'm from small town Alabama, a town of about 3,000 people. So what I love is the fact that when I moved here, I have that same small town feel. From the parade, we had the opportunity to walk in and feel the patriotism of the local community, to going out to dinner at night in a community where everybody knows my name and I know theirs. That's what I love, is that although we pass through every few years as military professionals, we get to know the locals and we get to know their small town politeness, courteousness, and I love that feel to it.
When someone joins the military, they enlist their entire family. So when you get stationed in a community, that community becomes an extended family. And there's no better example than the Yuba Sutter community that embraces them and everything Beale has to offer.
Our success of accomplishing our mission depends on the local environment. And our partnership with Yuba County, we live in Yuba County. We shop in Yuba County. That's where our families go to school. That is our community.
I help with a program at Beale called Happy Landings. It's for military spouses who are like myself, who have just arrived to Beale. I know what it's like to be them, and so we welcome them when they first arrive and introduce them to all the best parts about our community. Then we feed them lunch, and then I do my program called Mandy's Favorite Things About Living Here. And so I share with them my favorite places to eat, where to buy a new dress, where to look for maybe getting in a house or an apartment. Where am I going to get my hair done? That is crucial for people to know when they first move here. So I provide all that fun information about living here.
And for the professional side, partnering with them for things like wastewater treatment, it is no longer the Air Force side of things and the local community side of things. As we get to fiscal constraints down the road, it truly has to be a teamwork of all of our resources, because we realize we're all U.S. citizens and we're all working toward the same cause at the end of the day.
The base is home to more than 4,500 military personnel. Their mere presence infuses a tremendous sense of pride, patriotism, and security throughout the Yuba Sutter community. Congratulations, Beale Air Force Base. You are our 2016 Yuba County champion.